indie artists are under attack. It may sound, I guess we're going to get the conspiracy theorists to be like, oh, they're taking this to a whole nother level. Indie artists, aka DIY artists, will earn more than $1 billion this year in 2019. Yes, I said billion with a B. And we're going to talk about why indie artists have exploded thanks to streaming, and why labels like Universal Music Group, Sony Music, and Warner Music are starting to focus more on indie artists.
Slowly but surely, independent artists are devouring the record music industry. This is at least the views from the major labels, who've been paying attention to self-releasing, or as they like to call us, DIY acts, which are gobbling up increasing percentages of the global market share. Now here's the good part. Because that number was up 35% from previous years and claimed 3.4% of the records industry total global revenues, which equates to $643 million, it doesn't really tell the complete full story. For one thing, there's so much more to consider, like publishing and sync. And for each indie artist who writes their own music, they will also get publishing royalties from any track that they distribute. So long as this cash is properly registered and collected worldwide, which is what companies like mine do, they'll get a larger portion of the money. Now you may be asking, what does that mean for you? That means more money that you can be getting for your family. Money that you can be using to pay your bills, money that you can be using to do pretty much anything that you want, money that could actually help you out. And it's not hard to get. You just have to align yourself up with the proper tools. Now, if self-releasing artists with publishing factored in saw another 35% rise in global revenues in 2019, their collective annual income would hit somewhere around the $1 billion mark. And it looks certain that self-releasing music will easily generate a whopping 10 figures in 2019. A number that is only going to increase in the years coming, which is why major labels are trying to get a piece of that money you guys are making by creating platforms under different names to grab your attention and sway you over so they can get a piece of the indie pie. However, for those of you who want to stay indie or just want to stay in control, let me say the obvious, because I know what your next question should be, which is, how are indie artists getting a share of that $1 billion? And the answer is with the rise of direct artist service companies and a whole host of other commercial models, which means unsigned artists have more choices and flexibility than ever before. And these artists can now create their own virtual record label or record company out of the box.
Well, Casino let me know, and I have been keeping track of a situation that's going on right now. And the way we are perceiving it is indie artists are under attack. And it may sound, I guess we're going to get the conspiracy theorists to be like, oh, they're taking this to a whole nother level. And then you're going to have all these answers. You're going to have the trollers who say, oh, yeah, y'all taking it to this next level. It's not that bad. But when you look at it from the sense of what major labels are doing and why they're doing it now, it is just that deep. However, Casino, man, what's going on, bro?
Peace, brother. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing excellent, my brother. You know that how we do it. I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
Blessed and highly favored, man.
Good.
Glad to be here, be able to shed some light on this subject that needs to be heard and artists need to understand.
Right. So in brief, man, and I want you to do the honors, because, I'm always a person, telling them about new stuff. And I really didn't plan on doing a live podcast today or anything like that, but we need to really shed some light on what's going on. So run down to me what you found, what the article says, and I'm gonna try to put on the screen at some point in time as well. But can you share what's going on right now with the major label industries?
Y'all know that we've been cheating the system and things of that nature. So let's not hold each other foot to the fire, and let's go against the smaller fries, which is the independent artists, because the major labels is seeing that they are putting millions of dollars into artists such as Drake, but they got somebody like a Nas X can record something in their bedroom, upload it to a free distributor, and next thing you know, they are standing side by side with Drake and competing with his music. Well, the labels are saying, hey, we don't want that competition no more. So what we want to do now is to put something in place that's going to stop not just us from doing it, but mainly the independent artists from doing it. So they're coming up with this code of practice, which is basically saying, if you cheat in the system, we're gonna catch you.
Right. And so when I read it, it says, this is Rolling Stone's article, guys. You guys can check out. It says music industry signs pledge against fake streams. And specifically, it says Spotify, Amazon, Sony, Warner, Universal, and other major players in the music business jointly condemn streaming manipulation. And the crazy part about it is an admittance by them, like you said, that they have been doing it. This is like a unilateral agreement for them to say, and it's not even an agreement, because when I read it, it says not a contract, it's not legally binding, nothing here forces them to adhere to what they're all agreeing to. But what it says is, in a nutshell, they're really going to be attacking indie artists who's doing it, based on the premise that these indie artists are achieving their success the same way they've been doing it for all these years that streaming has been in existence. And now it's a problem, because what most of you guys don't realize is that indie artists and hip hop has taken over the charts, literally, okay? And it's a problem right now. I mean, a problem. I read an article recently where Billboard is now talking about stopping recognition of Spotify and its streams and using that as a source to chart artists. That's a major statement. And so what this does, and Casino, I don't know how you feel, but as we was talking about it, I made some thoughts, man. Some thoughts came to my head about what this really does for major labels. One, it empowers them. Okay, it empowers them because now they become the police of the streaming industry. They're policing the streaming industry. Two, it's going to force indies to basically say, look, I don't need to be an indie. I need to be looking to try to sign with a major label now, because they're the only ones that have legitimate streams. And that's what we talked about earlier. What I was saying to you was, you know, if they're going to be the police, and they're going to be the police of the music industry, they can say, well, you got too many streams from Brazil, right? And so because you got too many streams from Brazil, and that's one of the places where they have these streaming farms, in quotation, you know, we don't want to qualify your music. And you could have legitimately marketed your music in Brazil and got people to, you know, to stream there. But if they say it's suspicious, they don't have to pay you.
You're right. It gives the major labels power again, and it makes the independent artists feel as if they have to seek out a record contract. It takes me back to when I heard them saying that major labels has vowed this year to sign 2 artists a day. So when you say 2 artists a day, you say 2 times 365. Woo. You got artists that's about to be shelved on top of shelf on top of shelf, just so they can be a tax write-off, and just so they can kill the competition. Because if you was an independent artist that had steam by yourself, they may not want to gamble with you. They may not want to invest in you. So they'll buy you out, so to speak, put you on their label with you assuming that they're going to put you out. You'll be just like the artist Lil Wop. Lil Wop had he had steam going with him. He signed to Gucci Mane and he got shelved. Only thing he got was the money up front. And this is what artists have to understand. The upfront money is an illusion. If they're giving you this in the beginning, you're definitely not going to get nothing in the end. And that's what most of the money is at. It's in the return on the investment.